So there's this narrative that's been floating around throughout this entire presidential race, and it's that Bernie Sanders is unelectable because, he's too far to the left, he is far too socialist, and he's simply a political outsider. And conventional wisdom is that outsiders cannot win in a general election. Now, yes, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, but even looking from an unbiased perspective, you can clearly see that this is other nonsense once you look at the facts. And the main reason why is because Bernie Sanders' policies are overwhelmingly popular with the American people. People are sick and tired of this trickle down economic system we've been experimenting with. Because guess what? The faucet never turned on. People are struggling, and while government is not always the answer, it can certainly help benefit millions of people in giving them a fighting chance. So here are the numbers. 63% of people support raising the minimum wage to $15 per hour. This is according to a poll done by Hard Research. And a $15 minimum wage hike is one of the pillars of Bernie Sanders' campaign, and it has strong support amongst the American people. Then, over 50% of people support single-payer health care, with only 36% of people opposed. This poll was done by the firm GBA Strategies. This is yet another pillar of Bernie Sanders' campaign, and yet another policy with significant support. Then, 74% of people support higher taxes on the rich, and over two-thirds of people think the middle class should pay less in taxes and the rich should pay more in taxes. This poll was conducted by CBS. Bernie Sanders plans to significantly raise taxes on the rich, and guess what, man? You can call it socialism all you want, but keep in mind, then you're calling 74% of the American people who are with Bernie on this issue socialists as well. Next, 97% of Democrats and 71% of Republicans support increasing Social Security taxes for well-off Americans. This poll was conducted by the National Academy of Social Insurance. Bernie Sanders supports raising the cap on taxable income to make the wealthiest people pay towards Social Security benefits so the elderly can actually retire and live out the rest of their lives in dignity. 58% of people support breaking up the big banks, including 60% of independents and 47% of Republicans. And this is according to the Progressive Change Institute. Bernie Sanders has pledged to break up the big banks within the first year of office, and apparently a majority of the American people are with him on this issue. And one final policy here. 60% of Americans support higher federal spending on infrastructure, and 63% of Americans believe roads and bridges are not being properly maintained. This was done by the American Trucking Association. Bernie Sanders wants to invest $1 trillion in rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, and in doing so, be able to create up to 13 million jobs. And all of these policies are trademark parts of Bernie Sanders' campaign and his message. These are policies that he just shuffles out every single time he's given a microphone. And according to the facts and the statistics, the American people agree with Bernie Sanders on nearly all these policies. And the only response the Republicans will be able to muster is, oh, he's a socialist. And despite the fact that the socialist label is becoming more and more actually popular, and despite the fact that, of course, he's not even a socialist, the Republicans will still chart that attack out, and it will simply be ineffectual. 47% of Americans say they would vote for a socialist. This is according to a Gallup poll. And amongst millennials, socialism is even more popular than capitalism. That's according to a Pew Research poll. So, let's recap. His policies are overwhelmingly popular, and the only attack the Republicans would be able to throw at him, it would have no effect on nearly half of Americans and a majority of millennials. This guy would rip the soul out of any Republican that would dare come to a general election. And even if the last several minutes of facts and statistics did not convince you, here are the poll numbers on potential general election matchups. So according to Real Clear Politics polling average and general election matchups, Hillary Clinton beats Donald Trump by an average of 2 points. And also according to RCP, Bernie beats Trump by an average of 2 points. Okay. Then against Ted Cruz, Hillary loses to Cruz by an average of 1.8 points, but Bernie beats Ted Cruz by an average of 3.3 points. Then against Marco Rubio, Clinton loses to Rubio by an average of 3 points, but Bernie only loses to Rubio by an average of only 1 point. And while Bernie Sanders fares only slightly better against the Republicans, this idea that Bernie Sanders would simply fall apart in the general election, it's absolutely ridiculous. He fares better against the top three Republican candidates. He fares better against them than Hillary Clinton. And the only attack that the Republicans would be able to throw against him would be largely ineffectual. And his ideas and his actual policies, his actual message, they are overwhelmingly popular with the American people. And this is backed up by numerous facts and statistics that I just laid out for you guys. Tell me again that this guy can not only win this nomination, but this presidency. Tell me again that he cannot take this country back from the oligarchs. Hashtag feel the burn.